Hello, YouTube. I'm just going to start this video with a content match because I freaking love this song. Big hard sun on the big people. I would love to hear a radio station actually play the original version of this, but I do feel blessed to be hearing the Eddie Vedder cover. So 9:13 p.m. Friday, August 19th, 2022.
Once I stood to lose her when I saw what I had done. Bound down and threw away the hours of her garden and her son. So I tried to warn her, I turned to see her weep. 40 days and 40 nights, and it's still coming down there. There's a big hard sun beating on the big people in the big hard world. There's a big hard sun beating on the big people in the big hard world. That's big hard sun in the big hard world. There's a big hard sun. I wish the station came in better. I freaking love this. There's a big hard sun. In the big hard world. Oh damn, parking lot is full at Bolero. Wow, I can't believe there's not a red left arrow here. Oh, hell of a line for Chick-fil-A too.
7
Wow.
Off, a product of event.
Oh, and looking at that line for Chick-fil-A reminds me that I should eat. I've kind of forgotten to do that today. I was headed straight to Osbar, but yeah, I was late for tacos. I was gonna hit Heather up for other food. Over at Bullock's, and she was busy, so I never did. You know, at one point she was leaving to check and see if there were still tacos available, and then she never told me. But anyway, it's all good. So, for those that don't know what the hell that last song was, and I hope y'all could hear it okay, because stationed the EVIT high school station coming in kind of fuzzy in this part of town, and of course the stereo in this car sounds like ass, but that was Pearl Jam's cover of Hard Sun, which is originally by a very unknown band called Indio, and I think that was from the soundtrack for Into the Wild. Very interesting movie based on a true story. Really good soundtrack, mostly Eddie Vedder solo. Anyway, I'm not going the direction I meant to be going, but whatever, I'll make it through this neighborhood. I got a pretty good sense of direction. The original, I'm trying to think, I want to say Into the Wild came out around 2006, 2007. Maybe later. I know the movie is old enough that I own it on HD DVD. And I think it was released as a new release on HD DVD. So, if you don't know what HD DVD is, I'm not going to explain it in this video because I will get horribly sidetracked on that. But I will try to put a link in the video to something on Techmoan's channel that'll give you a good explanation as to what HD DVD is. I'm a huge fan of HD DVD. Have a great collection of HD DVD players and HD DVDs. Oh, and to the viewer of mine that told me that I should get rid of anything I haven't used in a year. Yeah, that's not how media collecting works. My collection of audio-video components and my collection of audio-video media means the world to me. So, there's a lot of titles and components that I haven't used in over a year. That doesn't mean I don't want them, and it doesn't mean that they're not valuable to me. So, On that note, it's probably been a year since I watched an HD DVD, but it doesn't mean I'm in any shape, way, or form bored with that format. So anyway, trying to focus on that song, and I'm getting sidetracked to the format of HD DVD, and I wasn't even trying to focus on Into the Wild, but yeah, that cover is from the Into the Wild soundtrack, and that song, I feel, got a lot more mileage and exposure, even though it wasn't a single, just for being Eddie Vedder and being on the Into the Wild soundtrack. But the song is originally from 1989, from a generally unknown artist called Indio. And I say artist, not group, because Indio is a pseudonym for, or a stage name for, really? Guy in the red truck definitely did not have a green to go in front of me, but Phoenix drivers are rude as fuck. I should be used to that. So I forget the artist's actual name, but I know Indio is basically one solo artist who has not had any success and has not really released much music. But that was his debut single, Hard Sun was his debut single off of an album. I want to say self-titled album. I don't know. Maybe it did have a title. I've owned that album. I have not had a copy of that album in probably over 25 years. I remember absolutely loving that album. Every time I try to find another copy of that album, it's expensive as fuck. And I end up deciding against dropping the money on it. But I did have it back in 1989. Got a promo copy of the CD when I worked at KRQU 102.9 in Laramie, Wyoming. And we were one of the very few stations in the nation that played Hard Sun as a new release and as a single. And of all the stuff we were playing at that time, that just immediately became one of my favorite songs. Just loved it, had no idea who the band was. Of course, had to hit up my boss for a copy of the CD, which he was kind enough to give me. And as I recall, the entire album was good, but I haven't heard it in eons. The only song I can remember at this point is Hard Sun. I do have a copy of the 12-inch promo single for Hard Sun, which of course has nothing on it but Hard Sun. It does not have a B-side. It's a AOR radio 12-inch promo single. And I treasure that record. I forget where I picked it up, but it's probably been in my collection since shortly after my divorce. I probably got that within a couple of months of getting off the streets when I got my apartment in wow, my other phone is blowing up. Yay. When I got my I was on the streets for quite a while after my divorce, but when I got my first actual apartment that was mine, not to be confused with places where I was couch surfing, which were kind of my home, but not really my home, because there were several of those between losing my house in Tucson and getting my apartment, which was my apartment in Tempe. Taco Bell or KFC or Carl's Jr. I'm kind of leaning towards Carl's Jr. Hopefully the drive-thru is still open. It's only 9:21. They should be open. So yeah, I actually was probably listening to that single before it was even commercially released. Our music director was very progressive in terms of like playing songs before they. Why is this guy blocking? This is retarded. I'm contributing to the retarded. I'm on the wrong side of the road. That guy's blocking the other access way, and then that other guy is actually where he belongs. I was just swinging wide so I could get into this drive-through, but that guy was just sitting there. It was weird. Parking lots are crazy. They're for those who don't know, who don't live in the United States, it's probably this way everywhere, but in the United States there are no traffic laws. Contrary to popular rumor, there are no traffic laws in parking lots. That is private property, and you fend for yourself. And if you get in an accident in a parking lot, the police just, like, if nobody got hurt, they don't even fuck with it. They don't even write tickets. They're just like, you're in private property, sort it out with your insurance companies and the property owner. As long as nobody got hurt. Anyway, that's not what I'm trying to talk about, but that was certainly a weird parking lot moment. Anyway, so back to the song Hard Sun by Indio, and hopefully that's on YouTube, and hopefully I can put a link to it in this video description, which I am way behind at links and video descriptions. So if I'm talking about something, I'm like, hey, it'll be in the video description, and then it wasn't there, and you didn't bother to find it yourself, feel free to, go to my channel and list my videos and go back to them. I really do make an effort to try to put those links in there. Anyway, yeah, so I'm reasonably sure working at KRQU, I was playing and listening to Hard Sun in our regular rotation before it was commercially released. Not that it getting commercially released did anything. That album was a spectacular commercial flop. The single was a commercial flop. The song got a lot more attention when Eddie Vedder covered it, and he was like, oh God, I love that new Eddie Vedder song, and at least Eddie Vedder was like, it's not really my song, it's covered by Indio. A lot of people missed that memo. Will be like, oh yeah, I love that Eddie Vedder song. It's really not an Eddie Vedder song. For that record, neither is Last Kiss, but let me not get lost on that. So yeah, love that song. I've got a 12-inch single of it, which I feel I got like right after I got my apartment back in like 2005. Found it. I'm now it's all coming back to me. I do remember I found that at Zia Records for next to nothing, and I don't know that the single's worth much. I'm sure it's worth considerably more than I paid for it though. But anyway, favorite song of mine, one of those things nobody knows, and it's highly critically regarded. You guys have the California doubles? You still got those? How much are those?
The California Classic?
Yeah.
It's still bigger?
Yeah.
With type, it comes out to $325.
Oh, sweet. Can I get 3 of those?
Okay.
And that'll be it for me.
Alright, both out to $975 the window.
That works. Thank you. Yeah, I don't need no stinking fries. As if the burger's not bad enough for me. And yeah, I'm on my way to the bar. Why would I buy a drink? Anyway, I'm trying to find my damn credit card so I can pay for this. There it is. Got to get my 5% cash back for restaurants from Discover Card. Anyway, yeah, I'm just going on. It's a great song. I don't know what else to say about it. Put a link in it. Listen to it if you've never heard it before. Eddie Vedder version is good. Oh, damn it, I lost my card. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, man. And my Discover card just fell underneath my damn car seat. Oh, I hate it when that happens. I have to log into my iPhone just to turn on the goddamn flashlight. I miss how old school phones actually would have a physical button on the side. You could just hit it and have a flashlight on it. I used to have this in a couple Nokias that had that feature, and I miss it. Of course, I guess I could actually, I don't know, use a flashlight. I do think I got my Amazon flashlight in my pocket. I put new batteries in it. Finally put new batteries in it. There it is. It was a freebie from Amazon. They've actually so far given me 2 of those. Oh, yeah, I do. Look at that. Boop. Let there be light. I don't know why I never think to do that. I'm just so used to using my cell phone when I need a flashlight. Meanwhile, I got that sitting in my pocket. So Anyway, yeah. So that song, especially since Eddie Vedder covered it, that album and that single have become very coveted, very highly regarded, and critically regarded. I mean, it got really good critic reviews when the album came out. It just wasn't successful. Radio stations didn't play it, except for the random station in the middle of nowhere in Laramie, Wyoming that I worked at. But that was not what I was going to talk about. And here we are, like 15 minutes into this. I'm still going on about what a great song Hard Sun is. I treasure that 12-inch promo single, even though it's probably been over a year since I played it. I'm not getting rid of that. Not a chance. Still looking to get the whole album, which I will probably play and then not play again for well over a year. And I will treasure it. Or the CD. And let's not kid ourselves. It's a digital recording. It's going to sound better on the CD. Still had some leftover Mountain Dew. That hit the spot, even though it was kind of warm. What I was going to talk about is what I got done at Bullocks and what was all happening at Bullocks. Just went back in. I didn't have a lot of time to work on music, but I did get quite a bit done. Went back to working on more prints. I still haven't made a decision as to whether or not what I'm going to do with the DK short version for Prince's Little Red Corvette. I did download the single version, like the single edit, single mix. I'm not even sure if it's an edit or a mix, but I did download that. I was surprised when I went through my MP3s that I didn't already have that. In artists that I'm more into, especially for songs like that where the album version is super long and people are often more accustomed to hearing a shorter version on the radio. I tend to have both. That way as a DJ I kind of have the decision as whether I want to make that song happen for 6 minutes or whether I want to just, play the hit version everybody knows and move on with the show, with the mix, with whatever event I'm DJing. So yeah, I was actually kind of surprised I didn't have the single edit for $19.99. Reasonably sure I probably got it on vinyl at home, but I'm not at home, so working on music today. Complete our guest survey choice. Get a buy one, get one for $2.
$9.74.
Thank you. By the way, the California classic doubles at Carl's Jr. highly recommended. I think the burger's like $3.99. No, two. Oh, it doesn't have the individual price. It says 3, and then it has the price for 3. I want to say they're. Oh, do the math. 3 is $8.97. So. Yeah, I'm not good at doing that kind of math with a calculator. Need my calculator, Derek. Thank you. It's not a big burger, but it's not a small burger, and it's freaking delicious. Comparable to a Big Mac, but somehow notably better. Highly recommended as value fast food burgers go. And I have got nothing but good food and good service from that Carl's Jr. I got nothing but good things to say about the Christown Carl's Jr. Love that place. Anyway, what I was watching, got distracted by hearing Hard Sun on the radio, and of course Carl's Jr. Hungry. But so yeah, working more on prints. Yeah, I haven't made a decision. While I did download it, but I didn't make an MP3 of it, and I didn't do an A to B comparison. But at this point, I'm absolutely convinced, just with what little bit I looked at, as far as like length of time and just the way the intro is versus the way I remember the radio edit intro being on on the single version of 1999 by Prince. I'm pretty damn sure that the DK karaoke version is not at all representative of the single edit or the single mix. So I did decide, just based on that information alone, not to add it to my karaoke catalog, to my songbook DB. Although I did decide I definitely want to have a shorter version of 1999 available, so I did leave the files in my karaoke library should I choose to use it as a KJ when somebody randomly asks for 1999. That's not something I do very often, whereas I have like more than one version in my actual karaoke library, but not more than one version listed. Dumpsters in the way. Not more than one version listed. That is a driveway I shouldn't block. Not more than one version listed. Driveway there too. Not more than one version listed on my karaoke catalog, but for the moment that just seemed like the best way to handle 1999. And of course now I'm kind of like on a mission to find a version that is faithful to the single edit, because I know the DK version isn't, but I do know that's kind of the DK version of Prince 1999 for karaoke people is very much a legacy version, and a version a lot of people are used to and like. So anyway, that's where I'm at with that. I did more than just him and haw over that, and in fact there's other stuff I was working on, which is the main reason why I didn't actually get around to making an MP3 of the single edit of 1999. And I was sitting in more Prince karaoke in another inbox than I thought I was, so I still definitely have another day next month to work on Prince karaoke. Surprised how many songs I had. I only had time to add 2 more, and of course made my preferences on which ones I like the most. But I added Forever in My Life, both these from Obscure Karaoke, Obscure with a K. I added Forever in My Life. That version, absolutely amazing. Oh my God, that karaoke channel just knocked that one out of the park. Forever in My Life, for those not familiar with it, off the Sign of the Times album. Lots of layered vocals by Prince. All those vocals that you can't sing when you're singing the lead, they are there in the Obscure Karaoke version. So, I mean, as long as you got the lead, you're gonna sound amazing singing that. And again, I've already got all the hits by Prince, I think, for karaoke. I'm just digging into deeper album tracks for people who are hardcore Prince fans that want to come out and sing those songs at karaoke. But yeah, Forever in My Life, Sign of the Times is an album that I really, really love. On a scale of 1 to 10, that's a solid 10 for me. In fact, that is what is sitting on my turntable in my bedroom on vinyl, is a reissue either from earlier this year or late last year. Yeah, God, love for da 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 da. If you know, you know. And then the other one I added was another track off the 1999 album, International Lover. That version not quite as good as the one for Forever in My Life, but still definitely a winner. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's a good solid like 9.4 quality for karaoke. I can tell he's using some kind of advanced AI vocal masking, which means that the music is actually the music. And I didn't notice it actually removing anything other than vocals, which is a good thing. That's always something that's plagued karaoke that's made with vocal removing techniques. But there are some places where the vocal kind of slipped through the AI, and I feel that takes away from the track a little bit. But I haven't tried singing it. It's very possible that when I'm singing it, that my voice just completely drowns it out, or in somebody else's voice completely drowns it out, and it'd be okay. Anyway, version for International Lover, quite happy with it. I don't know who's going to sing that one, but again, if you're a Prince fan and you're familiar with the 1999 album, International Lover, not the best song of the album, but definitely a memorable one. It's one of those Prince seduction, almost sounds like he's simulating sex through his voice and through the lyrics, especially towards the end of the song where he does this crazy narration like he's a pilot. It's the whole song, the lyrics of the song are like these euphemisms for flying on a plane, having sex with Prince. And then the whole second half of the song is just this crazy spoken word, kind of sang, but mostly spoken word thing, where he sounds like he's the captain of the plane, or the pilot of the plane speaking. It's like, and saying, just la la, I'm trying to think of the lyrics, because it's just the level of innuendo is amazing. I mean, Prince, need I say more? Prince. But yeah, the sexual innuendo on that is just top notch. I mean, even for Prince, like, it's top notch. And like there's lines about, bringing your body to its full and upright position, and using him as a flotation device. I mean, the whole, like, he kind of parodies the things that you hear, the stewardess or the usually the captain saying when you're taking off on an international flight. But it's just like just double entendre sexual innuendo. And then it comes to a point where it's just like, you can tell he's like kind of building towards a climax. He lets out this crazy scream that like only Prince can do. I mean, I guess there's other artists who can do it, but it's just like, and then afterwards just kind of softer voice. Anyway, it's all there. Like, the karaoke track's got it all there, even as the thing fades out. Like, the text is on the screen and it's highlighted in time to where you could say it just like Prince. But I mean, you don't have to. You just bring your own. I'm gonna be my own seductive self when I do that track, and I can't wait to do it. And that's unlike some of the other songs I've been adding, that is something that will fit in quite nicely with the demographics and the music mix that I got over at Bullocks. So pretty excited about those. Yeah, definitely added a lot cooler stuff than I normally do. But yeah, I'm sitting on more Prince tracks. I forget which ones they are. I mean, keep in mind, like, I'm digging deep, and I'm pulling out like International Lover and Forever in My Life. So the other songs, I'll be honest, I don't even remember the titles. They're deep enough that I don't even recognize the song titles. Now, when I hear them, there's a pretty good chance that I'll know them. But then again, there's a pretty good chance that I won't. I did kind of, somewhere around Diamond and Pearls, I stopped buying every Prince album as they came out. Now, I did buy some of the later Prince albums. I do have Welcome to America, which came out last year. Love it. Although, to be honest, I haven't listened to it as much as I really should. And like some of his later stuff, like, I don't know that I've ever listened to the album that Black Sweat is on. I think it's 3121. And I did buy that album, but I found a used sealed copy of it, and then it just like skyrocketed in value. So I sold it on eBay, because that's kind of how I get some of my income. So yeah, I've never heard that whole album. I'm kind of missing out. Part of me is regretting that I didn't keep that for my personal collection, especially now that my money's less tight. But whatever. I'll get that album eventually. But like Black Sweat, I remember getting that as a single when it came out. And that's like on a scale of 1 to 10 for me in Prince songs. That's a solid 9.2. Freaking love. Working up a Black Sweat. I think I first got that on a sampler, memory serves. Some kind of new music sampler. I'm like, whoa, Prince on a new music sampler. And that was like early. Feels like that was like mid to late 2000s. And there was some other, I do remember I bought Chaos and Disorder not too long after it came out. And like within maybe a year and a half after it came out, I remember finding it. And this, of course, I've long since lost my original copy, but I'm pretty sure I've replaced it since. But yeah, I remember as a cab driver finding that one when it was still kind of a recent release in the bargain bin at Bookman's, and just being ecstatic. And And that was, as I recall, that was one of those Warner Brothers contractual obligation kind of records that he didn't put a lot of effort into. Basically, he just gave them a bunch of album songs that were older that he didn't feel fit on other projects, just to kind of fulfill his contract with Warner. But I like that album a lot. A lot of those songs tend to be more rock oriented than a lot of Prince's output from the late 90s. So yeah, down with that. Show the title track, Chaos and Disorder. That's funky. That's a solid funky rock song. Anyway, I'm probably boring you all just talking about Prince, and listening to me talk about Prince. It's not as cool as listening to Prince. There's lots of it on YouTube now. You should listen to some Prince. On that note, I'm thinking about going into Osbar and singing 1999, but just to be snarky, instead of singing "Tonight We're Gonna Party Like It's 1999," I'm thinking about singing "Tonight We're Gonna," because the song was written with this whole overtone of like 1999 being this way in the future sort of date, and now it's kind of way in the past. So I'm thinking it'd be fun to sing, "And tonight we're gonna party like it's 23 years ago." Oh, 23 years ago. 23, and I don't know. It's a thought. It might be a train wreck, but I think I want to try doing that. Oh, but of course I can't do that at Osbar because they use Carafun, and Carafun is not cleared to copyright for anything Prince. Except for, I think they still haven't been blocked yet on She's Always in My Hair, so I might do that. Speaking of copyright issues with Prince karaoke, in the directory I was looking through last night, and I forgot to mention this when I was doing my video talking about what Prince karaoke I added last night. I found 2 tracks. Anytime I find like a good solid, like when I'm searching for stuff, I find a good solid instrumental, even if it doesn't have scrolling karaoke lyrics. If it's a good solid instrumental, especially if it's something that I realize is going to be difficult to find, due to copyright issues, difficult to find a proper karaoke track for, I will download it. I will keep it. I have authored karaoke scrolling graphics before. It's been a long time. I'll be honest, I'm not particularly good at it, but I do know how to do it. And I also have people in the karaoke community that are down to help me with that if I send them an instrumental. So there's that as well. I can always certainly reach out for some help in the online karaoke community and the local Phoenix karaoke community. So anyway, I'm sitting on... Oh, God, 2 really good songs. I listen to the instrumentals. The instrumentals are on point, but no scrolling lyrics on them. I want to say one is Mountains off Under the Cherry Moon. And me saying I've got karaoke for every hit song by Prince, I guess I don't, because I'm pretty sure... Mountains was somewhat of a hit song when it came out, and I'm pretty sure I don't have a karaoke track for Mountains, but I do have a solid instrumental. Another one that I listened to that got me really going, like I'm just singing to myself, listening to the headphones, and been sitting thinking, fuck, I don't have software to do this right now. I don't have time to do this right now. But the other one I'm sitting on, where I'm just sitting on an instrumental, is, which of course I found when I was searching for other Prince karaoke, was Paisley Park. Like the title track from Paisley Park. That was a single. I think it was a bigger hit in Europe than it was in the United States. It really wasn't successful as a single in the United States, but still, is there such a thing as a bad Prince song? I don't think there is. But a mission is easy. Just say you believe and come to the place in your heart. Paisley Park is in your heart. Love that. I mean, that was, when I bought Paisley Park as a new release. I think it was like 15 when it came out, 15, 16, somewhere in there. 15, I think. And I bought that as a new release because I had already been a Prince fan for a couple of years. And of course, I'm just buying the new Prince album because, damn it, it's a new Prince album. But, at that point, as I recall, the pre-release single in the United States was Raspberry Beret. It was either Raspberry Beret or Pop Life. Those were the huge hits off that. But I bought the album. I forget which was the lead single and which of those was the second single. But I know I bought the album as a new release in between the 2 albums. I bought it on cassette because, it was 1986, but or 85, somewhere in there. But anyway, as soon as I got the album, of course, I listened to the entire album. I've never been the kind of guy to buy an album just to get the hit songs and only listen to hit songs. And my two favorite songs on that album from the moment I got it were Paisley Park and America, both of which were released as singles, both of which were unsuccessful in the United States, but and I don't have karaoke for America either. Oh, I'd like to get that one. But yeah, I love the song Paisley Park. And one of these days I am going to author graphics to go with that instrumental I have for karaoke. Speaking of that album, sorry, my head is just wrapped around Prince's music today. Another song that I really love on that album now, it's probably, I would say at this point, like it's hard to pick a favorite song on that album because my God, that album is just so solid and good from beginning to end. But one song that I really, really love on it now that I did not like as a teenager, and that with me, getting older and my musical taste evolving as I've reached middle age, has become something that I absolutely treasure on that album, is The Ladder. There were times as a teenager, as a kid, I would fast forward through The Ladder and just seemed stupid, and it seemed like it dragged on to me. It just didn't do it for me as a teenager. But now, oh my God, Prince was on some next level shit that teenage me couldn't understand when he recorded and wrote that song. And so just so much deep wisdom in the lyrics and the instrumental and everything about it. And I don't have karaoke for that either, but God, I would love to get it. I'd love to sing that, and it'd probably be lost to most of my crowd. But oh man, just the Ladder being a I don't know if euphemism is the right word, but being a analogy, maybe. I'm trying to find the right word, but a metaphor. That's the word I'm looking for. The Ladder being a metaphor for finding a higher place or a higher purpose or meaning in life, ascending to something, bigger than what you currently are. And just general humanity's general yearning for that, and just that whole chorus when he finally gets to it, and he's like, everybody's looking for the ladder, everybody wants salvation of the soul. Good stuff. Anyway, I'm going to sing whatever I can sing over here at Osbar that is Prince, which is probably nothing. I do believe it's actually Priscilla that's been texting me, probably wanting to hang out tonight, and we've been getting along better. I'm probably going to actually do that, as much as people are telling me to just get her out of my life. And I had to remind somebody I was talking to today at Bullocks that as bad as things have been with us the last couple of years, I want to say for at least the first 8 years, the relationship that we had as boyfriend, girlfriend, best friend is the best that I've ever had in my life, period. And that's not something that's easily walked away from. So on that deep thought, it's time to get out of my sweat box. Dang, 38 minutes for like a 4-minute drive. But of course I stopped at Carl's Jr. and got me some delicious burgers. So going in to sing. And for what it's worth, I did remember when I got into the bar to convert my little chunks of UPT into PTO. So my paycheck will be a half hour bigger than it otherwise would have been, but the important thing is that I saved 2 hours of UPT, because while I'm not like to the point of running low on it, I certainly made a big dent in it this last couple weeks. And I all things considered, I do love my job at Amazon, and I value my job at Amazon, and I've seen how casually they will fire people for running out of UPT without any consideration to what that person's work history is, because Amazon is largely run by algorithms and rules and policies as opposed to actual human people thinking with their brains. Thanks for that, Jeff Bezos. Anyway, on that note, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, and I will be back with more.